Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about, all about Virgo. And yes, it does apply and pertain to the sun, moon, and ascendant. Well, anyway, first thing I want to talk about as far as Virgo goes, as far as the personality, Virgos can be, well, they could be somewhat persnickety. They can sometimes be a little bit overly critical, judgmental. On the positive side, they could be very meticulous. Virgos can be very clean. They usually have a very good eye and penchant for details. They often flourish and excel in detail oriented work. Virgos like to do things often in a very systematic and organized manner. They don't like things that are cluttered or disheveled. Virgos are often very borderline fanatical regarding cleanliness and neatness. They just don't like things out of order or out of place. If you were to One way to make a Virgo angry would be to disorganize their organization, pretty much. So Virgos too can often be very verbose. They can often speak very eloquently and have an extensive vocabulary. They are often jam-packed with information. Virgo is ruled by Mercury. Virgo can really, they really can be very observant. There's not a lot that Virgo people overlook. They have a good eye as far as the details go, very punctilious with details. And Virgos are generally passive. They're not Virgo people, from my observations and experience in astrology. They don't seem like people that are very confrontational. They generally will not resort to fisticuffs. It's more like Gemini, the war of words. But difference with Virgo, it's more of strong critical remarks that they'll make toward their enemies or adversaries, and it obviously would not be good to be on the receiving end. Now, Virgo is generally, they don't seem to be that humorous to me. They could have perhaps a wit that is caustic, and Virgo people often walk very fast. They could be somewhat worrisome, and they could even look a little apprehensive or pensive. Virgos can have a very strong kind of buttoned up look. They just like to be neat and clean. Those are the things that are very strongly associated with the sign Virgo. But on a negative side, they also can be, despite being intellectual and analytical, Virgos can sometimes gossip very strongly, and I think a lot of that could be attributed to the fact that, say, in a solar or natal chart for Virgo, Gemini would often be on the 10th house cusp. And I mean, when you're talking about Gemini being there, the public image, Gemini MC, this is, I mean, that could be that reputation, public image, and Gemini is associated with gossiping. So, anyway, well, as far as appearance goes for Virgo, Virgos seem to generally be around middle stature, medium height. You may see a few here and there that are tall, but it seems like the most that I've seen are generally about average height. The hair could be somewhat sparse. The hair that I've noticed with Virgo generally doesn't seem to be profuse, like, say, the sign Leo. Uh, Hair seems like it tends to be brown as far as the color goes. Virgos often can have very small features. The eyes can be deep set. And with Virgo, too, they often have a very clean countenance or clean complexion to them. Virgos are often slender in build, and Virgos are broad shouldered often as well. And when you look at a Virgo as well, as far as the shape of the head goes, the head seems like it tends to be oval, about medium or average length. And really, and also with Virgos, they tend to, when you look at them, it's a very kind of clean and buttoned up look, so to speak. They're often very meticulous, and their appearance is generally not what you would call disheveled. They can have a very neat look to them, and really the way they dress can often be very conservative. A lot of it has to do with the spending habits of Virgo, and they're generally not going to be wearing things that are too flashy, or things that are going to cost that much money. So anyway, well, that's I'm going to get to the money aspect for Virgo. Now, as far as money goes with Virgo, well, Virgo is a sign, being an earth sign, they're one of the money signs. I mean, the earth signs I see as the money signs: Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn. Virgo can be about really saving a good amount of money because they don't have that proclivity to spend. Virgo is not what you would call extravagant. They could be very frugal, in fact, even downright parsimonious. And Virgo, it may not have that tendency to borrow money from anyone, because then it's like, well, I got to pay it back, and then it's almost like maybe they feel like they're giving it. They're actually having that exchange where it feels like maybe they're giving it, when reality is they're paying someone back. But Virgos don't seem like they're really much into borrowing the money from people. They like to often have a job where they're getting a consistent check, where it's not something speculative, it's not based on how much business I'm going to do. Virgos can often flourish and really thrive in an area where they're an employee, where they know they're going to get that check consistently. They know exactly what's coming. They have a set amount that they're going to save consistently. And Virgos are really, as far as money as well, I see Virgos as list makers, compiling lists of what they're spending day to day, making lists of what they got to buy from the stores, not exceeding a certain budget. Virgo is about precision and exactitude. And if Virgo is on a budget, more so than any of the other signs, they will probably do whatever they can not to go over that set amount that they want, the maximum amount that they would spend on a particular day. And really, and the thing about Virgo is, again, that they just are often about consistently saving money and just not spending a lot, which leads them to when they get into their older years, their retirement years, they often can have a good amount of money due to this consistency with the saving. And being an earth sign, it's economical. They could be very premeditative. And Virgo people I see as often having a good, smart retirement plan set for them, so when they retire, they could be well off so often. As far as a career goes for Virgo, well, Virgo can often go into some intellectual or analytical type career, something connected with something that requires a lot of analysis, such as a systems analyst or data analyst. Virgos are also very detail oriented, so something like, say, medical billing and coding could be right up their alley. Computer programming, something that requires a lot of data, even something that's connected with extrapolation of data. Really, this is a sign that likes to work, whatever career they're in. They like to be systematic and methodical. They want to have a system, and Virgo is really so connected as far as details go. I mean, and they're also can be very scientific. Virgos can be intellectual. They could go into virtually any science field. I mean, it could be a wide divergence of professions: chemistry, biology. And Virgo also has such a strong penchant for cleaning and wanting things immaculate. And I mean, Virgos can also make very good professional house cleaners as well, or doing something wherever it is that they're doing some kind of cleanup. So, I mean, because that could be really right up Virgo's alley as far as professions go. And also the propensity to correct people. Well, they could be really a prototype far as being an editor, a proofreader, so somebody that's doing revisions in some way, shape, or form. These are the things that Virgo can excel in as far as career goes. Now, as far as the health of Virgo, well, Virgo can actually, despite not always looking like really strong or stocky or sturdy, that Virgos are often slender in build, and they don't always look like that they really are the epitome of health, because they can often be very thin and slender, but they often have a good and strong constitution. And Virgos can even be fanatical as far as health matters go. So Virgo often does whatever they can to stay in shape. It could be working out vigorously, going on some regimented fitness program, dieting constantly. Virgos really, I would say, of all the signs in the zodiac, I would say Virgo is probably most inclined to be a vegetarian. It wouldn't surprise me that that there would be more sun, moon, and ascendant people in Virgo that were vegetarians than any of the other signs that would share the sun, moon, and ascendant. Say it, for example, as opposed to say people that had either Taurus sun, Taurus moon, Taurus ascendant. So, as an example. So, anyway, also as far as the health goes, any health issues can often, I see Virgo being connected with anxiety very strongly, so issues connected with that. I don't know if there is such a thing called compulsive worrying, but something could very close to that as far as worrying excessively could lead to health issues perhaps. Now, hypochondria could be another thing. Also, something connected with the intestines, such as intestinal cancer, could be one thing. And even in depression as well, because Virgo, being an earth sign, can incline toward being despondent a little more so than as far as compared to, like, say, the fire, air, or water signs. Earth signs have a little more of a tendency toward becoming melancholy, and I think with Virgo, they could succumb to some kind of depressive state. And anyway, also ulcers, because of the worrying part of Virgo, that could be something else I could see Virgo as far as a health issue would go. Well, anyway, as far as love goes for Virgo, well, Virgos in love, I mean, Virgos are very cerebral. And really, like Gemini, Virgo can require, besides physical stimulation, mental stimulation. Virgos often they could feel loved by a partner by receiving things that may test their mental agility, such as puzzle books or something like a Rubik's Cube, brain teasers. They want a partner that they often want a partner they could share intellectual conversation with, be able to analyze things with, talk about very different subjects. Virgos are also so health conscious. They often want a partner, a significant other, that is health conscious as well. Now, due to the worrying aspect of Virgo, they might often be overly suspicious of a partner maybe being promiscuous or cheating on him or her. But Virgo in love will show their love by emphasizing their reliability, their punctuality, being there for the lover when he or she needs the person. And Virgos are often, they want also somebody often that is pragmatic and down to earth. The two best signs for Virgo, I believe, are the other two earth signs, are Taurus and Capricorn. So they often want somebody that really that has that pragmatic quality, that practicality, and somebody that's economical as well. Someone that's not going to just take their money and use them for that and spend it on whatever. That would not really be Virgo's cup of tea. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for All About That'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for All About Virgo. And stay tuned next time where I'll be talking about, well, all about Libra. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.